Why would you think that that made it okay for you, without any advance notice, to bring this matter before the jury? That's basic law. It's been basic law in this country.
Blake Lively is probably curled up somewhere regretting every move she made, because whatever legal high ground she thought she had just got nuked. A new judge has stepped in, armed with damning evidence and zero patience for games, and now this case isn't just falling apart, it's being systematically dismantled. It all unraveled when Brian Friedman's blistering appeal exposed Judge Louis J. Lyman's biased ruling, and, more explosively, his shady behind-the-scenes connections. Enter Chief Judge Deborah N. Livingston, who greenlit a formal investigation and effectively benched Blake's favorite judicial lapdog. Oops.it started with a suspicious decision, in what should have been a routine moment in discovery. Lyman abruptly threw out the two most explosive claims in Justin Baldoni's lawsuit, the ones that accused Blake of deliberate sabotage and betrayal. No clear breakdown, no legal transparency, just a vague blip about jurisdictional limitations and insufficient merit. The courtroom might have nodded along, but legal experts everywhere weren't having it, and then came the real plot twist, not in court, but on the internet. Legal analysts, reporters, and a swarm of online sleuths began digging into Lyman's background, and what they uncovered turned a sketchy ruling into a full-blown ethical nightmare. Turns out, Judge Lyman's brother has direct ties to Orion Talent Group, a major Hollywood agency with deep ties to Blake Lively's world. Think contracts, PR deals, and back-end film profits. Suddenly, this wasn't a routine dismissal. It looked like a cover-up. Lyman never disclosed these ties. And considering this wasn't his first entertainment-related case to raise eyebrows, the omission didn't just seem shady, it looked like a calculated breach of judicial ethics. For Baldoni's legal team, this wasn't just a loss, it was war to SO. On June 8, 2025, they fired back with an emergency motion to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, sharp, scathing, and unapologetically direct. They didn't just question Lyman's ruling. They accused him of tainting the entire process with personal conflict and institutional bias, and the court listened. Just 2 days later, the Second Circuit fired off a response that shook the legal and entertainment worlds alike. They didn't merely reverse Lyman's dismissal, they blew it wide open. They didn't just reverse Lyman's ruling, they eviscerated it. In a written opinion that landed like a legal grenade, the appellate court called his decision procedurally inconsistent and legally insufficient, a rare and pointed rebuke that some legal analysts said bordered on outright accusations of judicial malpractice. The court noted his failure to follow Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 12(b)(6), calling out his lack of factual analysis and omission of required legal reasoning. But the real bombshell came in footnote 17, a deceptively vague line referencing possible extrajudicial influences in Lyman's decisions. Those 5 words ignited a firestorm. Within hours of the ruling being unsealed, reporters from the Hollywood Courier and Deadline Legal dropped the confirmation. Judge Lyman had been formally referred to the Judicial Conduct Review Board. By June 12, Law 360 and Insider Legal Weekly verified what many feared. Lyman was under active federal scrutiny for undisclosed financial conflicts, specifically tied to Orion Talent Group. The paper trail? Back-end IP compensation flowing indirectly to Lyman's brother, Charles, through production deals linked to Blake Lively's team. None of this had been disclosed. None of it had been declared, and then came the judicial shakeup. Chief Judge Deborah N. Livingston signed off on a reassignment order, and by June 1, the new judge was announced, the Honorable Teresa Miguel. The reaction? Shock, not because of scandal, but because of how seriously the court was taking this. Miguel, a former federal prosecutor with a 21-case record involving celebrity defamation, is known across the Eastern District as a no-nonsense hammer when it comes to media manipulation, evidence suppression, and trial theatrics. She didn't wait. On June 2, her first official order reinstated all 4 of Baldoni's original claims: breach of trust, reputational sabotage, NDA violation, intentional interference. No redactions, no modifications. Just a full reinstatement, and a formal declaration that Judge Lyman's dismissal was in direct conflict with standing federal precedent. Then came the Real warning shot. In document number 148, now public record, Miguel gave Blake Lively's legal team exactly 14 days to hand over key evidence previously buried by Lyman's rulings: 3 internal email threads, metadata logs, a Slack export from a private production server used by Lively's PR team in mid-2020. Sources close to the court say Miguel is also reviewing a motion to forensically examine deleted iCloud backups, previously denied by Lyman, that may contain direct proof of sabotage by Blake's internal circle. This isn't just about defending the current case. Blake's team now has to retroactively justify why they withheld this data in the first place, and Miguel isn't here for smoke and mirrors. During a June 5 hearing, when Blake's lead counsel tried to steer into PR-friendly language, she shut it down immediately. This is not a press tour. If you have a procedural objection, cite it. Otherwise, we're moving forward. And move forward it did. Miguel scheduled a pretrial evidentiary hearing for July 12 to rule on the admissibility of the very recordings and third-party testimony Judge Lyman previously buried, but this wasn't just a judge swap. This was a hard reset, not for Blake, but for the entire trial. A cleanup of the procedural wreckage left by Lyman's bench and a wake-up call for anyone hoping to win through Hollywood clout alone. By the time Judge Miguel reopened all 4 claims, the courtroom had shifted from strategy to sheer panic. Inside chambers, Blake's lead defense counsel Erin Shack was overheard raising her voice in a heated sidebar with the clerk. But the moment that summed it all up came when proceedings resumed, and the official transcript captured her outburst, directed at Judge Miguel. The illusion of control inside Blake Lively's legal camp collapsed publicly and spectacularly on June 14. A redacted exhibit, EX67C, was mistakenly attached to a routine filing by Lively's own attorneys. It was a clerical error with nuclear fallout. The document, later sealed by Judge Miguel, included leaked internal emails referencing a crisis PR initiative ominously titled Project Optics. But this wasn't just about spin, it was about containment. According to Hollywood Law Ledger, the memo outlined tactics to delay press leaks, monitor Reddit and TikTok chatter, and preemptively neutralize influencer backlash. One directive dated May 26 bluntly urged the team to neutralize key podcast voices before June 5, an apparent reference to legal commentary shows like Gavel Watch and Page 6 Legal Live. The fallout was instant. Just 2 days after Judge Miguel's appointment, 2 junior lawyers on Lively's legal team, Allison Brantley and Marcus Narani, resigned. Their departures, filed with the Southern District Clerk on June 3, cited irreconcilable ethical concerns. Neither attorney has spoken publicly, but Law 360 confirmed both had previously objected to withholding metadata and improperly cataloged communications during discovery. Baldoni's team seized the momentum. On June 6, Affidavit 47A was submitted under oath by private investigator Trevor Mencha, accusing Blake's legal team of improper third-party witness contact. One witness, a former project manager from the shelved mental health series, claimed she felt coerced during an April 21 interaction meant to dilute her testimony. Mencha alleged that Blake's legal reps intentionally misrepresented the case's status to shake her confidence. While the court has yet to confirm the claims, Miguel's June 7 docket included an unscheduled hearing note, witness interference/pre-hearing misconduct. Translation: the court is taking it seriously. Meanwhile, Blake's carefully curated public image started to crack. Prominent entertainment lawyer Dana Calvert, who once worked with Lively, told The Hollywood Courier on June 8 that former allies, including a Netflix executive and 2 ex-brand collaborators, had gone completely radio silent. One insider described her inner circle as a hollowed out. Only longtime PR advisor Morgan Vass was reportedly still in contact with media, but it was Project Optics that truly ignited the internet. Legal Twitter trended with the term for over 18 hours, as leaked screenshots flooded Reddit, Discord, and TikTok. One viral breakdown from Legal Drama Digest detailed the covert post-timing strategy, showing how Blake's team buried scandals under celebrity fluff cycles. But that PR smokescreen didn't hold. Judge Miguel began dragging the buried evidence back into the open. First came audio file A4C, a 10-minute phone call between Blake and an unnamed entertainment consultant. In it, Blake is clearly heard saying, "I'll make sure he's blackballed quietly, no fingerprints." The consultant responded, "We'll let it die on the trades first, then let Netflix know." Digital Integrity Labs authenticated the file, unedited, unaltered, recorded via encrypted voice memo on November 13, 2012. Previously tossed by Lyman as irrelevant hearsay, Miguel cited Federal Rule of Evidence 801 D2 admissions by a party opponent and reinstated it. Then came audio file B9E, and this one landed even harder in the clip. Blake can be heard referencing Baldoni's mental health docuseries directly. It's not just that he's greenlit, it's that I'm being erased. You kill this project, or I'm walking from everything else. Though unnamed in court, Variety Legal reported the male voice matched Jared Castellan, Netflix's VP of Originals. Castellan's lawyers have now filed for a limited protective order to restrict the use of his voice in court proceedings. The re-inclusion of these recordings didn't just sting, they reweighted the entire case. Another explosive entry came in the form of Exhibit P33, a decrypted Proton Mail strategy memo. The document's headers said it all coordinated media erosion delink phase kill the mental health angle. Each section outlined detailed timelines, social media suppression targets, and freelance journalist contacts at the Wrap and BuzzFeed, both of whom denied involvement but have since gone silent online. By June 15. Legal opinion shifted from scandal to possible criminal exposure. Legal Brief Weekly published a statement from Harvard law professor Ella Colby, warning that the now public evidence opens the door for charges related to reputational sabotage, tortious interference, conspiracy to suppress creative competition. Colby clarified that while Section 230 protects platforms, individual actors are not insulated from liability if intent to damage is proven. Her interview added weight to Judge Miguel's next move, ordering 2 closed-door sessions in mid-June to review the admissibility of all PR-linked evidence under Rules 403 and 404(b), which govern prior acts and pattern-based character evidence, the legal consensus. This is no longer about a bad breakup between co-producers. It's about whether Blake Lively's actions represent a deliberate, repeated campaign of sabotage. The newly reinstated material, over 230 pages, including private audio, encrypted emails, and sworn affidavits, has rewritten the narrative. What began as a quiet civil complaint filed by Justin Baldoni on February 5, 2024, has unraveled into a full-blown, high-stakes reputational collapse. Back then, it seemed like a simple dispute between 2 celebrities over a failed partnership. But once the filings came to light, it became clear this wasn't creative tension. It was calculated betrayal, a war waged in backrooms, inboxes, and sealed court memos, and the gloves are off, with streaming interest already secured from Apple.